Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. We're gonna do an unboxing tonight. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, and my family got me a bunch of gift cards for where else? Bass Pro Shops. I spent like a week looking at this, and then I went online, and it took me forever to figure out what I actually wanted or needed. And so I'm going to do the unboxing, and I'll show you what I think I have my whole order here. It's impossible to tell with Bass Pro Shops nowadays because I placed one order and I think there was 9 or 10 items on there, and I must have had, I'll bet you I've had 25 emails from them already saying, hey, great, your order is, we received your order, we picked your order, we shipped your order, we shipped part of your order, we shipped none of your order, we, you know, and then every time there's another partial shipment, they send you 17 more emails, and you're like, come on, dude, just, you know. Then my wife says, well, why didn't you choose to have, like, she goes, on Amazon, you can choose to wait until everything is together and ship it once. And I go, I didn't look, but I didn't see that as an option, or I don't remember seeing it, but I just bought a bunch of fishing tackle, so I wasn't thinking about shipping. I was just thinking about how cool it was, all the new stuff I got. I got, so I was watching a Mark Zona video, and he was talking about power shotting, and I really got kind of hooked, so to speak, on throwing little mini swim baits on a drop shot rig. And he was showing doing the same thing and some other power shotting with some different baits, some Strike King baits anyway. But he's throwing drop shots with 1/2 and 5/8 and 3/4 ounce drop shot weights, which I'm all about because I like finesse fishing. I just like to do it faster and heavier. I don't want to go super slow and fish a 1/16 or an 1/8 ounce drop shot weight. I know it works. I know it works. I just don't have the patience for it. I want stuff moving. So these are 1/2 ounce. Somewhere else I also got 3/4 ounce. So, and then I was looking at spy baits. Not only spy baits, but spy bait jig heads for swim baits, for soft plastic swim baits. I'm a big fan. Like, you will see, there are certain things, like there's 3 or 4 lures or techniques that I really always have rigged up. The drop shot just kind of came into that group. I love throwing swim baits. And so I saw a bunch of different brands that make, Megabass, I believe, is making one with a propeller blade on it. So this, when you go on Cabela's or Bass Pro, they have all these lure making things. I want to be able to use my regular bigger jig heads and then just put a prop on there, and you could put a peg weight or something on a little bead, put a bead on after that so it spins, and then when you rig your swim bait would come up to the back side of that bead and that prop. So I got 2 sizes and 2 colors, gold and silver in a small size, and there should be another silver one. And there's 100 of them in there. I'll never need that many of them in my life, but I've got them. And I think they were $4, so I can make all of the spy bait, swim bait heads that I want. Now this is a Do It product. It is a through. So if you were making your own lures, this is the wire that it's already got the loop on both ends. So you could put, at that point, you could put a hook right into that loop on either end. My plan is with these is to, I have a bunch of lead. You guys are gonna laugh. I have a bunch of lead that I got off a job, and I'm either going to melt it together and wrap it around this, and then paint it and put a treble hook on one end or whatever. I want to make my own lake trout jigs. I know, but I still want to do it. And I'm going to, and I said this the other day, I am going to jig a lake trout in Lake Ontario, more than one. I really want to do that this summer. Even right now, I just haven't been up there yet to do it when we could get out there. So this is my other size of my propeller blades. So I'm stoked on all that. That's because I like to tinker and I like that stuff. So this one, again, this is another Mark Zona. I like Zona a lot. I enjoy watching him. He's funny. He's smart. He's a good fisherman. He listens to other people. I've enjoyed watching him this winter on YouTube, big time. This comes from his show too. This is the swinging football head jig. It's just the head. This is a Strike King, and it's got a what? It's not the hook keeper or the bait keeper. You know, the spiral that you like a twist lock. What you do is you just thread this onto any hook. You can put this in front of any hook you want. So I was watching one of his shows, and he was rigging some sort of a Strike King product. It was a Rage Craw or something, but throwing it on these big tungsten heads and just crunching them through the rocks on these rock piles. And these smallmouth were just freight training them. You know, it was crazy. And that's my kind of fishing. It's moving, it's going, and big hits. You know, I love to throw a spinnerbait. I love to throw top waters and stuff because I want to see and feel that explosion. Everything after that's gravy. I just want to feel the bite. So I got a couple of those, and they're tungsten. So they're like $999 for two of them. This one is a Lunker Hunt, and I've never owned one of their products. I've seen them, you know, the detail and everything looks beautiful, but this is the Impact Series, 3.5 inch, 1/4 ounce. It's the common shiner. I have some spots, some good smallmouth spots where I think when the time is right that's going to be deadly, it really fascinates me about these swim baits, how they're a negative action bait. Like, you want them to be almost perfectly still, and those little blades are what really does it. And everything I've read and watched about it, they're interesting. I was looking for the Duo Realis and the Spro, Arashi. And it's funny, Bass Pro sells other Storm Arashi series, but not the spy bait. And they don't sell Duo Realis at all. So my gift cards went to what they did have, the Lunker Hunt Mission or Impact, and you can never go wrong with Lucky Craft. And this is their Screw Pointer 80 in American Shad. And this particular bait, especially this color, is for the St. Lawrence this summer and those giant smallmouth. I'm super excited, and again, it's Lucky Craft, so it's already good. And lastly, so I'm 51 years old. I grew up watching Al Lindner on TV. I've got the videos, the old days from the VHS. I always have been a subscriber, you know, since high school to In Fisherman. And I was watching Al fish with his son Troy the other day, and they were throwing, you know, X-Raps early spring, nothing new. And Troy Linder said something interesting on how this is the hothead. That's the XR10 hothead. That color is incredible. It's really loud and aggressive. And he said that's his favorite year-round smallmouth jerkbait color. And he said the louder the better color-wise. And I don't necessarily think that way about smallmouth. But he said something that was very interesting and it caught my attention. He said they are super aggressive, especially when they're traveling in those big feeding schools. He goes, and the louder the better. So I got one. I've got every other color. I never had bought this one, so now I do. Here's the other size, those tungsten drop shot weights. That's the 3/4 ounce. And so I got half and 3/4 now in that. This is that new Rapala ripstop jerkbait minnow, and this was another in fisherman. You know, they obviously fish a lot of VMC, Rapala, Suffix products, that whole family of brands. But I mean, how can you go wrong with Rapala? And so this is that new ripstop, and I got it in the perch color, the yellow perch color. That's for Oneida for opening weekend of walleyes. That's for Oneida year-round because we have such a heavy yellow perch population in this lake. That's also going to be for the Thousand Islands, for those smallies up there. I went and got a few stick baits, a few hard baits. Tackle and shopping for tackle for me is all about my imagination. And I owned a tackle shop at one point in my life. Fishing tackle, just, you look at something, you know, so I'm looking at this Rapala and I'm thinking to myself, I can see this hanging out of a fish's mouth. I can see the days that I'm using this. Like I can look at a lure and go, boy, I would use this here or doing this, or it just makes my imagination light right up, which is part of the reason I love fishing so much. Every time you look at something, every time you rig something up, every time you think outside the box, every time, there's never, ever, ever only one way to do something. Nothing is ever one thing all the time, ever. And fishing is no different. Oh, you can only catch walleyes in Oneida Lake on a black and purple bucktail jig. And for the longest time, it's not that that was the only thing you could do, but it worked so well that that was the only thing you really had to do. And you could still expect sunny, cloudy, didn't matter. None of it mattered. You could short hop, you could drag, you could put a half a night crawler on there. Black and purple bucktail on Oneida Lake was it, and still is at times. But it's not the only way. Not the only way. And I have a box of jigs in my boat that there's probably 300 bucktails in there, and at least half of them are black and purple. But that's not all there is, you know. And then smallmouth, largemouth. The fishing world it's always exploding, because people that fish, I think, are naturally creative, and they're always coming up with a better way or a different way, or I wonder if this will work. You know, making my own stuff sometimes, tying my own flies all these years as a steelhead guide, salmon and steelhead, and tying jigs. And my gramp got me started making, we used to tie all our own worm harnesses in the spring, in April, before the opener. You know, he would snell the hooks, and then you know, I was 6, 7 years old, 8 years old, and then I'd start putting the beads and the spacers and the blades on there and stuff. I still have some of them. I love the creativity that fishing allows you, and you can, and even if you have just all store-bought stuff, doesn't matter. The creativity of what to use and when, and or to think that a color like that, you know, that doesn't look like anything in nature whatsoever, would work. And you never know. You never know. I never ever say never. I never say, oh, that'll never work, because it might. It just might. So that's my birthday haul. That's the unboxing. And as always, I thank everybody for watching. And please hit the subscribe button. We're gonna just keep doing stuff. There'll be a ton of footage this year, a ton of content. When you subscribe, smash the notification bell so you know every time that something's posted. And I really, really appreciate everybody watching. Thanks. Have a great day. Keep your tip up.